Hi there. We're gonna do a progress report, I guess. We're gonna update my feelings on all these pens that we used for February because it's almost time to clean them all out. And so I did migrate some stuff over to this notebook, and it's just gonna be a little bit of a, it's just gonna be a little bit of a, I changed a little bit. Like I said, put it in this notebook. So these were the colors that I used. I did have some other pens that I pulled forward. We're not gonna do those. I don't know. I just had a lot of thoughts about how I had laid this out, and I think I want to do something a little different. And then we will update I actually got this from Karina, from Karina Loves to Plan. She does this little current collection progress report to kind of keep track, and I love numbers, so I thought I'd try it. I kind of messed up a little bit, but we're going to go through the inks first. And I think I need to flip this over. Yeah, I think I did I do it the wrong way the first time? I did. So I had it this way, and now I flip it and do it the other way, but this should be fine, just so I have some lines while I'm writing and get everything lined up. So this is just basically going to be how I feel about the pen ink pairings and so I had this as like ink, flow, and then nib, and I don't necessarily think that was how I wanted to move forward. I feel like the comfort level is a little more important to me, or even just like the pen itself. So, and I also felt like, I don't know why I was so hesitant last month to give like 10s. Like there's some place I should be going from here, but I don't know. I guess I always thought that, you shouldn't give anything a 10 unless it's absolute perfection. But some of these pairings are. So I think we'll see a few 10s maybe. So I didn't even do, okay, I don't know. I'm like all over the place. I'm trying to get this video filmed before Steven gets home. So I'm going to go in order like that on this list. This will be different next month. This is just because I had everything in the A6. So next month it'll be different. It'll look a little different, and I think I'll have like all of the inks swatched on one side and the progress report on the other. And then the update thing behind, whatever. The roundup. This is the roundup. That's the progress report. Okay, so Robert Oster in Pink Squirrel, which is in my Pilot Kakuno. There's not much. There's a little bit of ink left. I still have a few days left of February, but I have thoughts on all of these inks and pens. So we're just gonna do a little bit of a writing here. So I'm gonna write the pen, the ink, name, and then just a little short snippet of thoughts. So this is the Pilot Kakuno. It's pink, I don't know, with a medium nib, and it has a Robert Oster Pink Squirrel. So honestly, I love this pairing. wet ink, smooth nib. So I'm going to give the ink a 9, the flow a 10, and the pen a 9. It's an excellent combination. The ink flows really well out of this nib. It's a really nice color. I don't feel like it looks a little darker. It may have had a little bit of evaporation. I haven't used this one in a few days. So it looks a little darker, but I really like this color. Over here is the sample, so you can tell it's definitely a little bit darker, and that's fine. That was my fault. I should have been using the pen, but yeah, I still like it. I think it's a beautiful color. All right, next up we have my TWSBI. I have played with this pen a little bit throughout this time. I am not a fan of this nib. It's a fine nib, and for whatever reason, it is dry and not fun to write with. So it's a TWSBI Diamond 580 in Iris with a fine nib. So the ink is Bungu Box. Sweet, is it sweet? Yeah. Potato, purple. So once I clean this pen out, I'm going to do some more work to it. I don't want to mess it up, but I was successful in making it a little bit wetter. I actually, don't tell anybody. I left the pen like it is, and I stuck my craft knife in the breather hole and just straight down through the nib in the feed. And a little bit of black came out where it had cut into the feed. But I mean, that's how you widen a feed. So I did it a couple times. I'm going to take it apart and clean it. But it did make it a little bit wetter. Not completely fix the issue, but it does write better and it's not so dry now. And I mean, that could be the ink too. I may try it the next time with something wetter, but I am going to take the whole thing apart and do it again with the nib out. I don't want to damage the nib, but I was getting real irritated with this situation. So, the nib is sort of dry, not my favorite. But I honestly, if you could see, there's ink pulling on where I'm writing. So actually, I think that I did a pretty good job at making it was so dry. So the ink, I really like this ink. So I'm going to give it an 8. The flow is, we're going to go with 7. It's better now. It's still not where I want it to be. And the pen, I'm going to give it an 8. And that's basically because it was a gift. I would give it lower. I don't care for this pen. It just makes me so sad because it's the worst TWSBI nib I own. And all the rest of them are like fine. But this one, I do not, it's not my favorite pen. All right, next we have the lovely Esterbrook Esty in King of the Night. And honestly, this is like the most exquisite pairing. So this is Esterbrook Esty in King of the Night with a fine nib. It has Diamine, Oxblood, which is one of my favorite inks. It's perfection. There's no, I absolutely love this ink. It gets a 10. The flow is a 10 in this pen, and the comfort level is a 10 all across the board. I love this combination. I love this pen. I love the nib. It's just so nice to write with. And Oxblood will 100% always be my favorite. Like, it's been my favorite ink forever. I know if you watch my 8 more questions, what is it? Yeah, 8 more pen questions. This is my like all-time favorite ink right now, but this is a different favorite ink. It's a different kind of favorite. It's not something that I want to journal with all the time, or that I want to ink up every month or anything like that. This one, on the other hand, I kind of do. I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble cleaning the pen out. I might not and just leave it out, but for now, yeah. But I just love Oxblood. I've always enjoyed that ink. It's just a nice ink. Okay, this pen, I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't reach for it. I don't know why. I love the Tom Studio Raspberry Sorbet. It's one of my favorite inks, but I don't know. There's nothing wrong with this pen. It writes really well, and I like the way that it looks, but I just didn't reach for it. So this is the, let's spell it right this time, Heather. Nautilus in cotton. Is it cotton candy? See, I don't even know anymore because I got so irritated with this. I think it has a fine nib, because it should have more pink for cotton candy. I'm just going to rename it. No, not really. Anyway, it has Tom Studio. Yep. Oh my goodness. D-I-O. There we go. I'm horrible at spelling, but talking and trying to write, I can't do it. Not bad. Just didn't reach for it. And I was even considering inking this up for March, because I actually have an ink that I think matches it really well, but I'm not going to. I'm going to choose a different pen. So the ink, I love this ink. It's a 9. The flow is a 9. The pen is an 8. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't gravitate toward it. I don't know. It might be a little heavy for me, maybe. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it doesn't have any pink in it. It makes me irritated. Okay, next up. Y'all know how I feel about this pen and ink. Okay, so this is my Kaweco collection. I don't even know. Is it an AL Sport? Is it a, I don't know. It just says collection on it. So that's what I always put. Kaweco collection, olivine with a medium nib. And it has linen toolbar. Sun Moon Lake Ruby Black Tea. Love this ink, love this pen. It is a great combo. So the ink is a 10, the flow is a 10, and the pen is a 10. I actually probably should have gave the pen a 9 because it is a little thin, and I don't know that I could write with it for like long periods of time. I've journaled with it some, but I don't know. I love it, so we're just gonna go with that. Most of it, what in the world did I do? Ooh, let's not drop the pen. Okay. Okay, so most of my pens still have a little bit of ink left. Like I mentioned, I'm transcribing right now, so this is the pen that I am using tonight. So I will actually run through a lot of this ink. The most of the rest of them are fairly low, but I will dump the ink. I'm not going to keep a pen inked up. I did it for years until I sat here and thought about how much ink that I have. I don't care to throw it away. All right, so this is the TWSBI Eco Cream Rose Gold, or Creme Rose Gold, with a medium nib. It has we have an issue. There's a hair. It's like right there. Let me see. I think it actually came off. I could see it on the nib. Yeah, it's just a little bitty tiny black. Probably a cat hair. Anyway, it's fine. It's on the paper now. It's not in the pen anymore. But it was like right at the end of the nib. And I was like, maple. Yeah, that was, and I did it again. Maple number 108. Yeah. That was funny. Okay, so this is a nice combo. It flows really well. No issues. The ink, I think we'll do an 8. I like it. I actually really like it. The flow, a 9, and the pen, an 8 as well. All right, next up is my Atlas exclusive Monteverde Ritma in rose gold. This one has given me a bit of a headache, like a few times this month. It has a medium nib, and it has Waringle 12th Night. So I had some issues with it clogging on some paper, which I thought was, I guess, a little odd. It clogged really bad anytime I was writing in my transcription notebook, but in my weeks, it was fine. But then right here, it had a hard start again. So, but it had already written, like, it was the T and the, or clog, whatever, not a hard start. But, I've used this nib before with other shimmers and never had an issue. So I'm guessing it's something with this ink. So I'm going to give the ink a 7. I do like it, but I don't know. And it is like pretty much dry. I'm surprised I've gotten this much writing out of it. The flow, an 8. It flows okay. The pen, an 8 as well. I like it, but it's just kind of one of those pens that it's pretty, but I don't really want to write with it. It's really heavy. I don't want to write with it for like long periods of time. So, all right. The Ferris wheel press, we're going to have to use a different pen for that. So I'm just going to write it with this because I'm not actually using this one in this setup. So It was in my Opus 88. Oh, I don't know why I do that every time I write Opus 88. It is a demo pink PVD 2024 with a medium nib. It literally clogged the entire time I tried to write. I could not get the thing to write at all. It was awful. Ferris Little Press, Serpentine Blooms. Awful pear. Clogged. All month. It was awful. So the ink, I'm going to give it, I don't know, like a 6. And the flow, a 5. And the pen, an 8. I actually really like the pen, and if it wasn't for the fact that I had written with it the prior month with no issues, I would be considering like selling that pen because it was awful. But when I took it apart, all of the shimmer was clogged up around the I don't know what the, so it has like a, you unscrew the back and it's like a vac fill, so it has like the little plunger that goes up there. So all around the top of the plunger and into the nib was just caked with glitter. And it was, I mean, it was writing with glitter. I could see glitter on the paper. But yeah, it was not a great experience. So that one, I don't know if it was, I may try the ink one more time in another pen that I know like can handle it. If it has issues, I mean, maybe it was just the unscrewing the little piston thing or the plunger and putting, maybe it just like, I had it, I don't know. Anyway, I'll try it again one more time. If that's the case, I will probably let that ink go. I'm not going to do that. This one is almost out of ink. There's a little, I mean, there's a little bit left in there, but I wrote it a lot with this one. I really like this ink. So the pen, oh, I don't know why I didn't post it. This one I kind of do. So it is my Pelikan M200 in rose quartz with a medium nib. And the ink is so I had somebody pronounce this for me. Well, they spelled it out how it should be pronounced, and I think I've got it, but I'm not positive, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Diamine Cerise or Cerise. It just depends on, because I think it said Cerise. Maybe it was just Cerise. But I needed to go back. I meant to go back and look at it, at the spelling before I did this. So I can't remember if it was Cerise or Cerise. So I love this ink. I absolutely think it's beautiful. I probably will end up with a bottle of it because it's just so bright pink. I love it. Love. If I could spell. Okay, so the ink is going to get a 9, the flow is going to get a 10, and the pen is a 10. I do really like this pen. It's so nice. I wish I had gotten, so I ordered a bottle of the Golden Lapis, the one that goes with the blue version of this, the blue and gold, because I wanted it to put in my Fantasia. And I wish I had not ordered this pen. I wish I had just ordered the Pelican. There's nothing wrong with the Fantasia. I have my issues. I just wish I had ordered the Pelican. Okay, so that is this portion of the roundup. So we have all of our pens kind of laid out and the inks. So next month it won't be like this, and it should be a little shorter because I'll already have all of this kind of done. We'll just do this part and like a little blurb about what I feel about the pen. So, but I'm really happy with how this turned out on that. So let's get over. I did leave a couple of blank pages because I have a couple of pens that should arrive before the end of February. So I wanted to include them in here. So technically, maybe I shouldn't do this yet. But I don't think they're going to come until Friday, and I wanted to get this up. Like, well, I guess I could get it up at the end of the month on Friday. I just wanted it to be complete. I don't want to put partial information in here. But I really like how this looks. I can't wait. But yeah, ink samples. I don't know why I put sold there. I meant used up. And so I just wrote used up out there. And I mean, obviously there's not, I'm not going to sell an ink sample. So I'm just going to put 0 there. And then next month I'll remember not to put that. So yeah, I think maybe I'll wait until I get, because I have several bottles of ink coming and from a mystery box from Atlas. So, but I guess it's purchased. It's not really used. So I guess, y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so now going forward, I should have it this way. Okay, so we added, so yeah, I purchased them technically. So we will go back and we'll do, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 new pens purchased. Ooh. And then I sold, I think I only sold 1. Let me look at the date on the date that I sold. I know I sold 1, but I don't remember what date the other one sold. Okay, so we sold 1 pen. Ink samples purchased. Let me put that back on. Okay, so ink samples. Those were all bottles. So 3 purchased and 2 used up. Bottles. I don't know that I want to say this one out loud. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I had to destroy that one. So where does that go? Oh, did I put that? Disposed. I did. 5. And then I have 9 coming. 10. I just got another one. So 15. 15 models. Oh, Lord. Well, it was kind of, when they get here, I'll explain. So watch for that video. I did not use up any bottles. and disposed of one. I ordered a bottle that was contaminated. My bottle of linen toolbar charming. Yeah, I kept the bottle. It's so pretty, but I did dispose of it. It had mold in it. So, all right. So let's look at our totals. I have 56 pens, and will it tell me my inks? I think it tells me, no, it doesn't tell me how many of each. Oh man, can I guess that one I'll have to come back to. I have 95 inks total, and I don't have I don't have 10 of the new ones put in here yet because they haven't came yet. But let's see if we can math this. Because after this, I won't need to, I'll keep up with it better. So I have 39 samples, and that leaves, oh wait, no, so that means I have 105, right? 64? Is that right? 64 or 66? No, that would be 66. Y'all, my math skills are not today, so yeah. Ignore that. So 66 bottles, 39 samples, 56 pens for now. We'll see how next month goes. So that is, hopefully, I need to actually count and see if that's how many pens I have. I think I have everything updated in there. I kind of went through and tried to, but I'm not sure if I got I think I have my Kavecos in there because I really don't use those. They're just in a cup on my desk. And I have a couple other ones that I really don't use. So I'll have to check and see if I have actual 56 pens. But anyway, that's the state of my collection at the moment. So I'm okay with that. Not too bad. Hopefully I can get some of these samples used up. And actually the samples, that includes my Inkvent calendar from 23. I mean, they are bottles, but they're only, what, 5? Are they 5 ml bottles? I don't even know. I think that's what they are. So I put them in as samples. They're not bottles. So yeah, for now, that's what we're going to leave it at. We may recategorize things and do things differently in the near future, but as of right now, that's it. So, all right, I think that's going to be it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and it would mean the absolute world to me if you'd consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one.